little bit of update for today because I realized I actually got quite a bit done. Not a ton because there's stuff I had to do with the paper and football games this weekend and other stuff going on during the football games and tons of photos and politician visiting and all this. So, anyways, it's not tons of time, but I made these two shelves over here on the right, which are two parts, and I cut that notch too deep because I wasn't thinking and I was in a hurry. Anyways, but I've realized, that's going to be for my pants. So, whatever. No pants are going to fall through that extra quarter inch. And that is going to go back here in the corner underneath these two. And that's just going to be where I stack up all my pants, free up some space hanging here. So it's just shirts hanging up. I did actually, and this was a small thing, we had a fire run this morning. It was nothing. Just some heater overheating in a state thing. Anyways, and I realized with time to get dressed and stuff, that's not acceptable at all. So, which I hadn't really sort of, I like to have stuff where all my clothing's kind of laid out in the order I put it on and whatnot. So I figure out, and I mean, like, this is my working outside clothes, as you can tell, and working on building things and whatnot. And basically, so it's my get dirty clothes. And so what I'll do tonight, before I go take my shower, I'll take this off and hang it, on this hook here with this jacket, which is a nice one to throw on as I'm heading out the door. And then I have my regular work jacket up here. So I mean, I've just put up a couple hooks, but that works really nice. Now behind that jacket, I went out and got a dimmer switch. And then, it's another like $3 or $4 each for these. But, just so there's not like plates out there with the individual skinny switches. And then, so anyways, at least there weren't any hardware store I looked in. So I got this stuff, so I have a dimmer switch now, which I really like, because this strikes me as like glaringly bright like this, and so it's nice to just be able to turn it down to sort of a nice evening hue and not feel weird that my windows are open. I'm sort of like, on stage for the neighborhood or something too, and just also and glaring sort of out the the scenery that I can see out my windows, which is okay, well, now I got a reflection, looking out over there or sort of up the hill there, which you can actually see above my neighborhood, doesn't show very well, or off into the the mountains and stuff that direction or whatever. Not bad views. I mean, they're fairly neighborhoody. But anyway, so I got that done. I put in, and I got to put the plate on now, this switch back here. And this is one of the things, actually, to people who are working on their tiny homes, think about your switches. Think about your lights. If I had this to do over again, I would have had them, because, up in that loft, which I don't get very much use out of on a regular basis, and I never really will. It won't be be probably where I spend it most, 5, 6, 7% of my time on most days. I had them do so that there's, two sets of lights on separate switches, which is really nice. And I wish I'd thought to have them do that down here. I didn't think about it at the time. I should have. I have all 5 of these lights are on a single switch, which again is really bright, especially in the night or whatever, early in the morning. You just want to make your coffee. You don't want a lot of light because you're kind of grumpy because it's morning and nobody should be up in the morning because morning is a horrible time. Anyways, no, but I wish I'd thought about that more. Stuff like, so there was 2 light switches over here, one that turned on the lights down here, which was sort of like meh, since the light switch was right over here already, and then another one that turned up on the light in the larger loft. I realized part of that was just, it was a matter of clear communication and also just some things I didn't think about too, that I wasn't specific on, as far as that I was going to be sleeping over there, because I'm guessing if they knew I was going to be sleeping over there, that's the light that they would have put on the switch down here, because that would have made a lot more sense. So that's just something, if I had to do it completely over again, what I would actually do is what I'm sort of doing now. I probably would have gone with those slightly pricier things, but since I'm having to do it this way anyways, I don't really care about that. And the nice things with the ones I'm using, I can program any switch and any receiver to work together. So those are 2 wireless receivers that are completely hooked up to the wiring for the switches the two switches that were there. That I have a plate here. And I'm also didn't think about like things like the color of the face plates when I was first doing it. So gradually, I'm probably going to be switching over everything to these slightly darker, well, actually much darker face plates, just because match in better. So, anyways, and this will go on there to cover that up. As I'm redoing the stairs and stuff, anyways. And then over here, although of course now this is bright white, I have a remote switch that turns on and off that light, and turns on and off that light. So it does have a little like watch size battery in it. You can get the ones that have no batteries, but instead of costing what these do, which is like $20-$30, you're looking at $110 or $120, which is a bit much for that for me. And also, that's per light switch and receiver, and each light switch connects to receiver, and they don't require batteries because they use basically the same principle of some lighters, as far as that you have a little electric generator that is push activated or push powered, and that sends out the signal. But again, you can't do all the, at least I saw, the reprogramming and stuff that you can with this, and this is much cheaper. And so what I'll end up doing is I'll have 3 switches down here total. Because I like this enough, I'm gonna go ahead and set it up. So probably actually going to replace the switch above next to my bed here with a dimmer switch like I have downstairs, so that I can set it to a dimness, and then I'll go ahead and have the remote switches, that one down there. So I'll have it down there so that I can turn on and off the downstairs light, and one light on either end up here. These lights, which are already on there, and then these lights above my bed. And then up here, I'll have a switch for the bed, a switch closer here, because that's another thing, like the switch for this ended up way over on the other side of that window, which obviously, if you're coming into this loft at night or whatever, it'd be a lot more convenient to have it over here. Or, if you're leaving the loft or whatever, at different points, and then a switch for the downstairs light. Well, actually, there will be, on either side, there will actually be 2 switches. Since you can program, up to like 8 buttons to each receiver, I'm going to do, 2 over here that turn off the downstairs light and turn on the light here, then 2 over here for these. So, yeah. That's kind of what I did. Turned out that replacing light switches was actually not nearly as complicated as I anticipated once I started doing it. Never done it before, but YouTube videos, fantastic stuff. And if you ever want to find some entertaining, there's a guy who I'm pretty sure it's a joke. I hope to God it's a joke, that he goes over how to replace a light switch, and it's sort of just like this long blooper reel of him almost electrocuting himself and stuff. So that was fun. I got to discover that. I enjoyed that a lot. Buddy's being a pain in my butt at the moment. Buddy. Yeah. Yeah, I get the message. So anyways, he didn't want to move at all. Yeah, that's all I got done today. But feels good to get every little thing done, doesn't it? I think. So I'll talk to y'all later.